Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're looking at the latest Slaves to Darkness releases for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So first of all, I want to say a massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us free review copies of these models to have a look at, unbox and paint up for the channel. What I'm aiming to do in this video is show off all the sprues, we'll have a look at what's inside, see how they go together, and then towards the end of the video I'll have these built and hopefully some of them painted up as well to show you kind of what they look like in the flesh. So yeah, it's been a big old release for the Slaves to Darkness, hot on the heels of the army box that came out just before Christmas, which had the new Chosen in it, it had the new Ogroid models in it, and it did have the Daemon Prince in it as well, which is also here. This one I'll be building up in the 40k kind of alternative build for it, and then we'll do a bit of a comparison. I'm also going to magnetise this up as well to kind of show how that can be done to swap out the weapons and stuff, so that should be pretty fun too. But yeah, it should be a fun video. We'll go through what's in all these sets and have a look what they look like. So without further ado, let's move this out of the way and start having a look through these boxes. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the Daemon Prince. Now, you will have already seen this one, so I'm not going to dwell on this one too long, but what we will do is have a look at the instructions to see how the 40k variety goes together, because I know a lot of people are keen to build one in a 40k style. So let's pop this open and have a look at the frames and sides. So again, it's exactly the same kit that came in the kind of the launch box for the Slaves to Darkness, so you'll have seen these sprues already on that kit. But what we do get in this one is the full instruction book. So in here we should see the 40k alternate build as well, which is cool. So let's have a look through, because I do love the look of this Daemon Prince. I've built the AOS one as with the trophy rack without the wings. I think I'm probably going to build the 40k variety with the backpack as well, so I'll probably need to pick up a third one at some point with wings. But if I magnetise all the weapons, they should be fully swappable between all of them, which is cool. So it looks like we follow the same step for the core body, and then we've got a bit of a choice as well on how we kind of pose it. So it's kind of got two different, one's more kind of like standing back, one's kind of lunging forward, which gives you a bit of variety if you've got a couple of different Daemon Princes in your army. But then on top of that, we've also got the kind of 40k specific stuff that we haven't seen in the instructions that came in the launch box. So as you can see, you've got this backpack on him. You've got the kind of the more kind of like sci-fi bits for him in the 40k build there. I think he's got a different shoulder pad as well, which makes him look a bit more, you know, he was once a Chaos Space Marine Lord rather than a kind of Exalted Hero or something. Other than that, the rest of the kit is exactly the same, so you still get all the different multiple heads and stuff. You just get the instructions in here for building the 40k variety, which isn't too many different parts, and I'm sure a lot of people who wanted to build it out of the launch box will have been able to figure it out, but it's nice to have it here. So that's a quick look at the Daemon Prince. Again, we'll be building him up in his 40k incarnation. Next up, we've got the Exalted Hero of Chaos. So this is another new kit, really nice one. Again, with like a lot of the kits that we've seen today, it's got a few different ways he can be built. So if we flip him over on the back, you can either give him two single close combat weapons and a head, or you can have a sword and board. I'll probably go for the shielded version for the mortal wound save, but I'm tempted to get another one and build them both up because they are very nice. So we've got a single frame with all the parts on, nothing too complicated here. I suspect this one's going to be a nice easy one to put together. I don't know how magnetisable it's going to be. It looks like there's maybe pegs for the arms, so there might be some switchability there, but I suspect most people aren't going to be too worried about making this one interchangeable. Yeah, so you've got the sword or the axe in one hand, and then the axe or the shield in the other hand. And then other than that, it's a fairly standard build. You've got the two different heads on him, nothing too complicated. And yeah, really, really nice model. So again, at the end of the video, we'll hopefully have this guy built and painted to have a look at. So that's the Exalted Hero of Chaos. Keeping on the character theme, we've also got Eternus, the Blade of the First Prince. So this is one of the new special characters that's been introduced in the new Slaves to Darkness book. What's cool about this kit is that he also has an alternate build for a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount as well. So if you don't want to put him on a carcass rack or on foot, you can build this guy mounted. And I'm torn for this video which one to build. I think I'm probably going to build Eternus because he's cool and I've got Bellicor and stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely tempted to pick up another one to build as a Chaos Lord on Steed because, again, it's a really nice model. I kind of thought that would be a different kit. So nice to see that it's an alternate build for this one. So we've got a kind of Vanguard size base that he comes on. I think lore-wise, Eternus was a Vanguard before he defected to Bellicor. So that's kind of the size that we're kind of feeling for this model. Again, there's some really nice parts. With this being a dual build as well, I suspect there might be some parts left over that you could probably use to create I don't know, a Vanguard Lord or something. If you're doing, I don't know, an empty throne army maybe. But yeah, really, really cool. And then the other sprue, we've got some cool bits on there too. Yeah, really looking forward to building this one up. We'll have a quick look at the instructions before we move on to the other kits. And again, you've got a bit of variety in the poses of them, which is nice when they do that with these kits. It means that they look, like originally I thought they were two different kits, so quite a lot of difference between them, which is cool. So we have got, you kind of build up the core horse first, and the rest of the bits kind of like go on top of it. And then Eternus, a little bit of a more complex kit, quite a lot of parts on this one, but they're never too difficult to build with the kind of the new incarnation of the instructions that they have now on Games Workshop kits. You might have some bits that you want to leave as sub-assemblies, like this back banner here. Those banners may get in the way a little bit of trying to paint him. I don't know if you can leave Eternus separate from the horse. You might be able to. We'll have a play with that later on. Obviously on a big kind of more intricate kit like this, it's sometimes good to keep things in a few sub-assemblies to make it a bit easier to paint, but even sat on this Steed you should be able to get to him, so that shouldn't be too bad. And then again we go through the alternate options for the Lord on Steed, and again there's a couple of options for your weaponry on him as well. Whether you want the Warhammer or the Lance for the additional rend and damage on the charge. Dealer's choice there. Obviously he pairs really well with a unit of Chaos Knights that we'll be looking at next as well, so I'd love to do a fully mounted Slaves to Darkness army. I think that'd look really cool, kind of like thematically on the battlefield. So again, there might be cause for having two of these because they've got the nice kind of, he fights and then immediately after a unit of knights fights, which makes them really good for a bit of an alpha strike. So yeah, really looking forward to building this guy up as well. I think for the review, they'll probably build him as Eternus, so we'll see that later on in the video, but I am tempted to get one to build up as a Chaos Lord as well. So that is Eternus. We'll move him out of the way. And speaking of knights, we'll have a look at the new Chaos Knights kit. So I think this is a kind of add-on for the knights that we saw in the Start Collecting box, the Push Fit Knights I believe they were. And off the top of my head, I think this is like an upgrade frame for them that gives them the full like command options. I might be completely wrong and it's a new kit. I'm sure I read that this is the original kit with an extra sprue on with those extra kind of like command options on there. So let's crack this open and have a look, see if I'm right. Those knights were really, really nice, so no issue at all if they are. Yes, they are. So tip this out. We have got the kind of push fit bases designed to take those. And I think because of that, the entire kit is going to be push fit more than likely. So we've got, so they look like the frames from the original push fit kit. So this was in the Chaos Slaves to Darkness Start Collecting box. So if you've got those, you know what these guys look like. They're really, really nice Chaos Knights and a massive improvement on what came before them. So really, really cool. Also means that if you're maybe doing a unit of 10 of them and you've got 5 of those existing ones, you could build those 5 kind of as stock, and then you've got this additional command sprue which is new to this box, which then gives you your options to kind of expand that out. So that's interesting. They've done a lot of stuff like this for Kill Team for 40k, where they've taken an old kit and added a new sprue to have it, you know, give it a few more options and give it a new lease of life. So that's interesting. If we pop open the instructions, we can see we've got a couple of different weapon options for the leader, which is nice. Arguably, I think the lance is the best option really, because it does that additional rending damage on the charge, and these guys are very, very brutal on the charge if you got them buffed up. But obviously you've got the options for the kind of Morning Star or Flail, I can't remember what the weapon option's called, plus the Warhammer. So yeah, you've got some freedom there to swap them out. With this being a push fit kit, you can probably quite easily make them interchangeable as well. So yeah, that's not going to be too difficult since you can just pop it out of his arm. With push fit kits, I've never really used glue on them, because I've found if you use glue, it adds another couple of millimeters to the pieces, so they don't fit very cleanly. If you do want to glue them, just cut the pins down a little bit, and then they should fit more snugly. But for, you know, Underworlds and other push fit kits, I've just pushed them together. There might be a few instances where I've needed to use a tiny bit of glue on the base, but honestly, I don't think it's needed. Obviously, I'll report back after I built these to see if there is any glue needed on them. But as far as I'm aware, they should go together fairly nicely. Like the Karkadrak I didn't glue at all in the same box. So yeah, we've got some options there. We've got a few different emblems to represent. You know, if you want them marked, my knights are probably going to be Khorne, but I think aesthetically I'll just put the kind of like Chaos Star on top of it, because it means in future I can use them under any mark then. So yeah, really nice. And they can be built as just the standard kind of non-command variant if you want to, which again, like I say, combos quite nicely if you've already got the Start Collecting Slaves to Darkness box, because it means you could do a unit of 10 of them, and 10 of these fully buffed up, led by a Lord on Karkadrak, charging in at the same time. They go through anything like a hot knife through butter. So yeah, very, very nice option for your game. So looking forward to getting these guys kind of built and painted up too. So yeah, that is the new knights. We'll move those over to the side and have a look at the last new box that we've got here, the new Chaos Warriors. So whereas the Chaos Knights were an upgrade for the push fit Chaos Knights, I believe this is a brand new kit with a couple of different options as well. So you've got your kind of sword and shield, or you can give them the halberds as well. Which, well, I think rules-wise, with the current season of Age of Sigmar, your kind of Galician infantry still fights in 2 ranks, even in the new General's Handbook. You kind of, I guess, lose the bonus for the extra reach on them. But, again, for the purpose of this review, I'm going to build them like that because they look cool, and you never know. In 6 months' time, when the next season kind of comes round again, there's probably going to be some call for having some reach on the weapons once that rule kind of disappears from this kind of season of the game. So yeah, the rule of cool for me, always. You know, if you're a super competitive gamer, arguably the swords are probably the strongest option right now, but you know, I'm not going to win any tournaments, I'm just going to build what looks cool. So let's open these up and have a look at what comes inside here too. So again, standard bases on these, so they're not a push fit kit. And we've got some really nice kits here. The whole Slaves to Darkness range has been very, very nice. I think Games Workshop have pulled out all the stops on these because they do look incredible. So there's one sprue. Looks like these are going to be fairly easy to put together too. Obviously with the kind of the body and legs and most of the arms being like moulded, it's just going to be a case of like putting the backs on and then giving them the weapons. Looks like you've got a couple of different head options too across the sprues, so you might be able to again, like we said earlier with the Lord on Demonic Mount, there might be some spare parts you can use to maybe convert up a hero or something if you wanted to. But yeah, these look really, really nice. So we'll have a quick look at the instructions before we move on. Again, it's a case of kind of, you know, picking what weapon options you want to give him. Just the standard weapons, again, probably the strongest. They've got additional reach, but they look really cool, so I'm going to build them. That's the way to go for me. Obviously you've got a lot of different command options on here too, so just have a look at how you want to kind of build it first before you start putting it together. You've got a couple of different banner head options too, so if you've got a couple of different units of Chaos Warriors, and let's face it, you're not going to have that many units of them in a Slaves to Darkness army because everything's quite expensive points wise, but you can make sure you've got different looking units as well, which is always nice. And posability, you've got quite a few different poses on these guys too, so if you did do a big unit of 20 of them, you could probably have a nice bit of variety across them, which is good. Yeah, these guys look really, really cool. So yeah, looking forward to putting these together. So what we're going to do now is have a jump into the future where I should have these built and hopefully have some of these painted. Depending on time, obviously it's Christmas season at the minute, so I might not get it all painted, but at least want to get some paint on some of these. So see you in the far future. So I have been feverishly building and painting these models. Sadly, for the time of the video going out, I've only managed to get the Daemon Prince painted up. So the other models will just be assembled, but I want to give you a kind of a look into what they look like and yeah, what they like to build. So the Daemon Prince is an amazing kit. It's so modular. There's so many options that you've got for kind of making your own unique Daemon Prince. Obviously this one I've decided to not give it the wings, and I've given it kind of the standard kind of unmarked head. However, what I've done on this one is actually made the weapons interchangeable. So I've put magnets in each of the weapons and the arm joints, and what that allows you to do is just swap out those weapons, and he can be then armed with any of the options available to him, which is really handy if you want to make it quite versatile between, you know, Age of Sigmar and 40k, where some weapons might be better for one system or not for the other. I did look into getting the wings and the trophy racks magnetisable, but that would have taken a little bit more work, and I really wanted to get this guy painted up for the video, so it's probably doable, but you're going to have to do some cutting and snipping. Thinking about it, pins might be the best way to do that for the wings and the trophy rack, just to kind of keep them in place, or some small magnets, but you'll need to do a bit of cutting and resculpting. So the hands are really easy. You just put a little magnet in both the kind of wrist socket and on the weapons themselves, and yeah, I think it's well worth doing. So yeah, let's have a look at some of the other models from this wave. So next up we've got Eternus and the new Exalted Hero. And again, these are really, really nice models. Like I say, sadly not had a chance to paint these up. We will be painting these on the painting stream for the next couple of weeks. So if you tune in Sunday, which will be tomorrow as you're watching this video, I'll be starting work on some of these models, but they are really, really cool. The Eternus / Lord on Demonic Steed. You're probably not going to be able to magnetise it to make them swappable, or if you did, it'd take a lot of work because they are quite different apart from the core kind of like horse. So yeah, I'd probably advise, if you want to make both of them, just get 2 kits of that. The Exalted Hero, on the other hand, you could easily have the shield / I think he's got an axe in the other hand separate and make that swappable, which will make things a little bit easier if you do want to have the options to switch them out. For this guy, I have just built it with the shield stuck in place because that was the option I was going to build. So next up we've got the new Knights, and I say new, they are using the core of that push fit sprue that came out with the Start Collecting box. Now, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if this was fully push fit or not. Technically it's not. So while the core kit is push fit, the parts that you build the command kind of squad with do have to be glued in place, so you do need to use glue to assemble this. The push fit bits go together fine, no problem. Again, like I said earlier, you might want to use a little bit of glue just to keep them in place. You might find that you need to cut down some of the pegs to fit them in. There was a few that were a little bit difficult to fit, so I just clipped a little bit off the end of the peg and then used plastic glue to hold them in place. Again, we've been painting Horus this week for the Horus Heresy, so I've not had a chance to get these painted yet, but again, over the next few weeks we'll be painting these up on the painting stream, and we will have some finished pictures on the accompanying article over on Sprues and Brews as well when they're done. So yeah, finally let's have a look at the new Chaos Warriors. So yeah, like I said earlier in the video, I've decided to build these with the kind of axes that they've got. I know rules wise they're not as good as just giving them swords, but I thought they looked cool, and I'm all about rule of cool. This is a really nice kit. So it's a fully modular standard kit. It's not push fit or anything. They are really nice sculpts. If you've got some of the old push fit ones, they'll go nice alongside them, and it'll give you a bit of variety if you've got a squad of 20. But these guys are really cool. I believe they're in the new Vanguard box as well, alongside the Knights, so it makes it quite easy to kind of build up the core of a Slaves to Darkness army, because all these units are quite expensive in points, so you don't need that many units to get an army going, which is really cool. So I'm very much looking forward to getting all this stuff painted up, and hopefully once they're done I'll have some Slaves to Darkness battle reports up on the channel to see how they face against some other recent armies. But yeah, that was a look at all the new Slaves to Darkness releases for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Again, massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us these a little early to build up and show off on the site. If you've enjoyed this, we've got lots of battle reports and painting videos and unboxings and all that kind of cool stuff, so if you have enjoyed it, why not give us a follow. If you would like to support the site as well, we do have an affiliate link for Element Games in the description. If you use that, it helps support the site and pays for all the kind of the hosting and everything. I've also got a companion article over on spruesandbrews.com where kind of show off some more pictures of the models, pictures of the sprues, all that good stuff. So yeah, until next time, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.